Forward operating base. Archer sat alone in the mountains. The nearest town was 80 miles away. Nothing but rock, sand, and wind in every direction. Most soldiers stationed there described it the same way. Quiet. Too quiet. Archer wasn't a combat base, it was a listening post. A small communications outpost used to monitor radio traffic across the mountain range. Most nights the radio stayed silent. Static. Occasionally civilian chatter. Sometimes weather interference bouncing signals off the mountains. But nothing important. Nothing strange. Until the night the signal appeared. It was just after midnight when Private Keller first noticed it. He was sitting alone in the communications room, wearing a headset and slowly scanning frequencies. Green lights flickered across the radio equipment. Outside the bunker walls, the desert wind rattled against the metal antenna towers. Keller adjusted a dial. Static. Another frequency. More static. Then something changed. A faint signal appeared on the scanner. At first it looked like interference, but the pattern repeated. Again and again. Keller leaned closer to the console. The signal was weak. Very weak. But it was definitely a transmission. He adjusted the receiver. The static grew louder. Then suddenly, a sound broke through the noise. A voice, barely audible, distorted, whispering. Keller froze. He turned up the volume. The voice came again. Help. The word was stretched and warped by static, but there was no mistaking it. Someone was trying to transmit. Keller checked the frequency log. The signal wasn't coming from a known channel. It wasn't military, it wasn't civilian, it wasn't even on a registered frequency band, which made no sense. Every radio system in the region was monitored. Nothing should have been broadcasting there. Keller switched on the directional receiver and began triangulating the signal. The computer processed the data for several seconds. Then a location appeared on the screen. A valley, roughly 15 miles east of the base. Keller frowned. He knew that valley. Every soldier stationed at Archer did, because they were specifically ordered never to go there. The valley had once housed a Soviet installation during the Cold War, an underground bunker built deep into the mountainside. But it had been abandoned for decades. The area had been surveyed, cleared, and officially listed as empty, which meant no one should have been transmitting from there, especially not a distress signal. Keller replayed the recording. Help. Static swallowed the rest of the transmission. Keller reached for the radio handset. Sergeant Mendez, you might want to come down to comms. Several minutes later, the door to the communications room opened. Sergeant Raul Mendez stepped inside, rubbing sleep from his eyes. Please tell me this isn't another one of those weird weather signals, he muttered. Keller shook his head. Just listen. He pressed play. The static filled the room. Then the voice appeared again. Help! Mendez's expression changed. Where's it coming from? Keller pointed to the screen. Mendez studied the coordinates. The valley? Keller nodded. Signal's been repeating every 2 minutes. Mendez folded his arms. That valley's been empty for 20 years. That's what I thought. Mendez leaned closer to the console. Play it again. Keller rewound the recording and pressed play. Static, distortion. Then the voice returned. But this time, the message was different. The two soldiers stared at each other because the word help was gone. Now the voice said something else. 3 words, clearer than before. Don't come here. The room went silent. Keller slowly looked at the radio. Did that just change? Mendez didn't answer. He grabbed the headset and listened to the live transmission. The signal crackled through the speakers. "Don't come here." Mendez set the headset down carefully. "That's not interference." Keller shook his head. "No." The signal repeated again. "Don't come here." Mendez reached for the base radio. He switched channels and attempted to contact command headquarters. "Archer to command. We're receiving an unidentified transmission, requesting confirmation of any units operating in Sector Valley coordinates." The radio cut to static. Mendez tried again. Nothing. He switched to satellite communication. Still nothing. Keller checked the system panel. Satellite link just dropped. Mendez frowned. That shouldn't happen. The signal from the valley repeated again. "Don't come here." The words echoed through the room. Mendez looked toward the bunker ceiling, where the antenna cables disappeared into the night sky. No satellite. No command. And a distress signal coming from an abandoned bunker. Keller swallowed. "What do we do?" Mendez thought for a moment. Then he picked up
The radio hand said, "Wake up the patrol team." Keller blinked. "You're serious?" Mendez nodded. "If someone's trapped out there, we're not ignoring it." He grabbed his rifle from the wall rack. 6 soldiers. 2 vehicles. We check the valley and get back before sunrise. Keller looked at the screen again. The signal continued repeating, "Don't come here." Something about the voice bothered him. He replayed the recording one more time. The distortion cleared slightly, and for the first time, Keller noticed something strange. The voice sounded familiar. He rewound the audio again, slowed it down, listened carefully. His blood went cold, because the voice calling for help sounded exactly like him. At that exact moment, the radio crackled loudly. A new transmission burst through the speakers. The same voice, Keller's voice. But this time it said something different, something that made both soldiers freeze. "You already sent us."